This was the beginning. This is one of my first cards I made when I published the technique that it was kind of like a happy mistake when I was doing trading at ATCs for all. So anyways, this card, I use a queen stamp. I don't know if you guys can see it. How's the lighting? Is the light okay? Okay. Is there a lot of, I see some, okay. So anyways, this was one of my first ATCs I made with the technique. And I used the melted crayon, and it has some gel pen that I did a little bit down at the bottom. I was just doodling just doing some doodling. And also on the top, it's a black gel pen that I use. And everything else, this was the whitest white gel pen for the eyes. So I'm gonna start with the tools, and I want to show you guys, different ways you can use this technique, because I have many variations of it, and I have some samples to show you. So we're gonna start with with the tools, and the paper is very important. What I use is usually Bristol. You can also use Bristol Smooth. This is Bristol board. As long as it's a smooth paper. Oh, sorry, Dart. Yeah, that I usually try to use something on top of the crayons just to preserve the crayons. And I think I use glossy accents on this one. So like I said, this is the most important paper. The paper is what's going to make this technique work. The crayons I prefer are just Crayola. You can use the cheaper ones, but I've noticed that when you use the other brands, the cheaper brands, they don't have as much pigment as Crayola does. So if you don't like the bold colors, you may be able to use the other crayons. So I prefer this one myself. I have tried many different types. I usually the glitter I do it like after I do my spread. Sometimes if I want to just add glitter, I use the glitter crayons also. I also have tried the metallics in conjunction with the regular crayons. Now let's go see the orange. This iron, I bought it at Joann's. I had another one, but I gave it away to somebody when we went to one of the retreats at ATCs for All. But this one is a good alternative, and it's very cheap. You can get them for $5. They're usually 10, but if you sometimes you can use your coupon. So this is a good alternative if you don't want to spend a whole lot of money. This type I use when I'm trying to do a lot of details. This is the one I was using when I was using the ATCs. Because in the ATCs you work in such a small canvas that sometimes you need the detail work. This one I got at Michael's, and it's a little bit bigger when you're trying to use a bigger canvas. I like this one a lot, but it was also kind of expensive. So you don't need to spend all the money for this type. You can just find a traveling size iron I picked up this one for a couple of bucks at the yard sale. It's kind of like the same, the only thing that has the holes, but that hasn't stopped me. I try to use most of it this area, or this area down here. I usually try to put it in medium to high. If it starts smoking, you just turn it down. That means it's too hot. You don't want the fumes. So, and you don't want the smell either of the burnt crayons. And I think somebody asked about a regular arm. I use this one too, also from a yard sale, and it's still working. Nothing wrong with it. I've been using it for a couple of years. So, like I said, you don't need to spend a lot of money if you have something that you already have. Just use it. Another tool is an eraser that I can't find. Oh, here we go. I have small pieces of erasers. I go through erasers like crazy, so. I thought I had paper towels. Lee, can you bring me some paper towels? My hubby's got me some paper towels. A roll. Paper towels, just regular paper towels. It's another tool. Usually a roll. Okay, now inks. My preferred is the VersaFine if you're gonna stamp. And if you can do embossing, and for that you can use the Versamark, but that it would be after. This one you're gonna stamp first, and then after you do the melted crayon technique, you can emboss with the Versamark. So, any other questions? So I'm gonna go through some of the samples so you guys can see. I submitted to Somerset a few years back, and I did get published the one time and only. I haven't submitted again. I don't know if you guys can see it. I'm trying to. Here's my page with all the Fridas. And these are the originals. Most of these ones have acrylics on top. I did the background. The face is pretty. It's Prismacolor pencils, and that's another tool too. It's but you don't have to use Prismacolor. You can use even the Crayola pencils. Here's my big bag of pencils. As long as they're wax based. Great, Laurel. You making some tags? Yeah, these are postcard size. I needed to send something small for them, for the shipping. But like I said, this was, the face was pretty much was colored with Prisma. Lips and her outfit and hair, flowers were with acrylic paints, and I usually use golden paints. This is what I use when I'm mixing with crayons. This right here, if you see this, what area, I don't know if you guys can see it. This is embossed. I'm reading. The issue, this magazine was no, in I think it was the July, August 2009. That's when I got published. July, August 2009. This is a drawing I did. So I didn't, you can use stamps or you can do your own drawings if you feel comfortable with your drawings. And also, this was, most of it was Prismacolors, and in my background was the melted crayon. And hair and the butterflies were acrylics. Another postcard that got published, it was out of this stamp. And this was my variation of the same stamp. I extended the stamp. I usually, a lot of times, I try to extend my stamps also. Yes? Okay, let's see if I can. I don't see you, Mitzi. Post something. Can you see my name in the chat? Yeah. Okay, I think I did it. Here's another guy that I did also with, I did the melted crayon background and then I painted pretty much freehand. I don't know if it's close enough. The glare, still some glare. And this was acrylic paints. I'm using acrylic paints, and I use the golden fluid acrylics. This type. And I'm not gonna bore you with a lot of my art. Here's one of, I don't have a whole lot. I usually been trading and passing along to everybody. But I had kept a few pieces, so this is one that I did last year. Actually, it was this, yeah, it was last year. I did it in December last year. And you know, I'm crazy about a Frida cow. Yes, just art. The acrylics, like I said, this is acrylics. Her hair, her outfit is acrylics. Her face is Prismacolors. This is acrylics. My stamps, I usually stamp and then put acrylics paint on top of the stamps. And this is a class that Dart took with me when she came down last week. I did did a little project with the gals down here. And and like I said, this is embossed on top of the background. We did a little bit of painting with the stars. I don't know if you guys can take a close up. And before I was putting this together, I was given some I was trying different colors and decided for the blue, but this was the red. Yeah, I was just trying to give you guys a little background of different ways to use this technique, and I'm going to show you just the basics. And I was gonna start with I have something already stamped. I was gonna do this little guys, but I need to get my iron hot because I've been talking. Did not plug in any of the irons. Can't get it plugged in. There we go. I usually start on high and then I turn it down as soon as I see it that it starts. When I see it smoking, I turn it down. Now I have too much stuff on my desk. Excuse me for a second. Excuse my reaching. So I'm going to be working a little upside down so you guys can see. I don't know if you guys need me to uh, zoom it in a little bit or move it closer. Yeah, so we're going to need a eraser, pencils. I need glasses. It's some Bristol board, smooth. I think you can use cardstock also, as long as it's smooth and white. That's all you really need. I'm testing my iron. I think it's hot. Okay, so the first thing you do, if you want to give detail to the card, you can use your Prismas. And your Prismas are going to go first before you do the melted crayon. Now the paper is not glossy. In Bristol board, is this is the type of, this was made by Carson, but it's Strathmore I think makes it too. So it's different brands, as long as it says Bristol, and it's not glossy. Did I answer most of the questions? Anybody else has a question before I get started? Yeah, the Bristol is smooth. This is, I did this one last week. So this is my finished product. So we're gonna try to recreate what I did last week. What you're doing is, when you're doing the pencils, you're doing a resist, kind of a resist. So pretty much all you do is color. I don't know if you guys gonna watch me color, and I may not do the whole the whole bird. So I'm trying to do as quickly as I can. White usually is a berry resist. So if you don't want, when you do the crayons on top, you don't want the crayon to get in the areas that you want it to be white. Oh, sorry, yeah. This is newsprint. This is, I usually buy newsprint on the kids area. You can also buy it in the artist area where they have all the boards for drawing pads and Bristol board. But usually I'll go in the children's area because this is a lot cheaper. It's called newsprint pad. Or you can use this too. This works just as good. An old phone book, recycled phone book. You have what? They have, I think there's a Bristol vellum also. No, I use Bristol board. As long as it's smooth paper, like I said, you can even use cardstock as long as it's smooth. Okay, back to the cart. I know this is a little tedious, the coloring, but and I'm not doing a good job. I'm coloring. Just trying to show you guys. A quiet mouse. She's on low. Is it that bad? Is the echo bad? Almost done. And then we can get to play with the crayons. And I'm doing it upside down, so. Had to turn it for a little bit. Okay. So everybody's ready now. This one says the setting is wool, silk and wool, so that's what I'm going to leave it at. Another thing, I usually try to peel my crayons. It's easier to work with them. Okay. All right. And like I said, usually peel your crayons. It's a lot easier to work. You don't want to, while you're working, you don't want to have to peel the crayon like this one that I didn't peel all the way. This one is not peeled all the way. And I usually try to use 3 colors or 3 variations. If this one is going to be blue, so I'm going to use a dark blue. I don't know if you guys can see it. This is a little darker than what I have there, but a lighter blue. This is more like an aqua. Let me see. And usually try your colors before you put them on the paper. think I'm debating. I'm using this 3 right here. And okay, so I'm gonna put it closer to the camera. So you melt a crayon, and it's random. And I usually use white just to tone it down a little bit. Then you turn it over and you spray. Very random. And my iron is fuming, so that means it's a little hot. So turn it lower. I see what you guys mean. It's hard to read the chat and try to work at the same time. Yeah, the strokes are pretty much just you put it down and you just go a stroke straight. You don't want to do this because it just mixes the colors and it turns like mud, especially if you're using colors like green and blue or red, then it's gonna turn into brown. Here's where you mix your colors on the iron. So this is what it looks like. And this is what my technique is. After you do that, I usually try to clean my iron with a towel before I... This one is a circular motion because you're going to remove the wax now. So you're going to try to remove the wax. Then you turn it over, you get your towel, and you're going to wipe off all that wax. Yeah, I'm buffing it off. I'm trying to remove the wax and just leave the color from the pigment of the crayon. And it still looks a little dull. I mean, the color went on top of all my color pencils. So this is when your eraser comes into place. So you're going to use your the eraser and bring those images. And you're bringing the images back out. A little muscle, but it works. Yes, usually just, let me see, just a white eraser. Nothing too expensive. think that I'm gonna try to put Skype on this computer next time. Yesterday I was having problems, so I decided to take it off because I couldn't connect to Ustream. So after this, using the eraser, it took away some of the color from the Prismacolors. So you can go back and use Prismacolors again if you want it to show a little more. And you see my white, it's a little boo-boo. I don't think my white came out as white as I wanted it, like this one. So you always try to fix the problems. Work the uglies. When I'm using also the acrylic paints, I use glazing liquid. Can you guys see it? Sorry about that. So what I do, I mix a little bit of that. I don't know if I want to do it here. What am I going to do? I wasn't expecting to have to use this, but oh well. There we go. I need to find a brush. There we go. So you dilute your paint with the glaze because you don't want it too striking. Sorry, I might get quiet. It's kind of hard when you're trying to pay attention to detail. Is this kind of boring, guys? Am I boring you? Oh, thank everybody for coming. Thank you, Becky. I wasted more paint. Like I said, you can use, this is mixed media. Can't get no mix in this. Am I working too far? I'm too away from you guys. I don't know if you can see me. I'm over here trying to get the details. So this is pretty much it. I use stickles on this one, so that's why it's a little sparkly. Oh, and I forgot the hat. I'm cleaning my brush using my water. Says don't drink it. Yeah, paint gotta dry a little bit before I can do white on top again of the I was trying to replicate the little hat. And that's it. It's pretty quick. That's the reason I like to use some backgrounds. because I can always work on the foreground, give it more detail, and my background is pretty random, and it comes always beautiful. I think so anyways. Yeah, when they're visiting, she bought me the stamp. So I'm going to try to use the stamp today. Thank you, Dar. I'm telling you, you think you're prepared, but you're not really prepared. I cut paper and I don't know where it is. There we go. Again, I'm using VersaFine. It's a little ugly. It's been used a lot. Never thought about buying broken Crayolas from the thrift shop. It's a good one. I don't have a whole lot of time. Uh-oh. Before I get to the next one, I wanted to show you something too. This one is one of those things that you buy at the kids area. And let me see if I can find it. Comes in this. They're $1. They call engraving art. And I usually use the tool. Say you made a mistake when you were painting. You can pick up the paint off of the crayon. And if you don't have this tool, you can always use your fingernail. So you can almost erase something that you did. It's another trick. I don't know if you guys can see it, but I erased part of his hat. Yes, Mitzi, we hang out on the kid side. Why pay more when you can find something for less? Alright, so back to, I'm sorry if it's upside down. Let me try it this way. You always try to work with your lightest color. And this is going to be the light. And I'm going to do the red. I can always paint it with acrylics also, but to get you guys familiar with the technique. I hope it's not too boring. Oops. Broke my pencil. Okay, so try to do the same thing I did. And I'm going to stay with the same colors. Can you guys see me? Can you guys see it now? I'm trying to get as close as I can to the camera.
You're doing great, Martha.
Yeah, this technique was a happy mistake. I was doing some trading in HTCs for all, and I screw up in a card. There was caustic waxes, and I only had crayons. And I had some rejects, and I wanted to do a collage, so I decided to use one of my rejects, and I screwed that one up too. But when I screwed it up, I found this technique, so happy mistake. And if when you're doing it, if you don't cover everything, it's still fine. You know, if you have a little spots of whites, it's still good. And when you remove the wax, sometimes it gets covered as you're trying to iron it again and remove. Like I said, I like to clean my iron before I iron, just so the back doesn't get too ugly. This is circular motion. Find the clean spot from your paper towel and remove the wax. After you remove the wax, then you use your eraser. I hear a commercial. The eraser got dirty. So some people would call it quits, but I don't. So I'm going to use acrylics. Again, I used red acrylic paint and with some of the glazing, so that it's a little transparent. Is everybody doing okay? Now this is my favorite paint. I can't even pronounce it. I don't know if you guys can. I love it to make washes and make antique colors. It's just the greatest. I'm afraid to put the water close to the computer, so I'm turning around. Where did I put the water? And all I'm doing right here is a wash. I feel like I'm giving you all my tricks, but I'm trying to use them as much as I can. I usually like to do shadows too, so I use charcoal. This is just charcoal. I feel like I'm giving you a lot of information, but I use a lot of the mix. I mix everything. So I just hope you guys don't get overwhelmed with all the information I'm giving you. Funny you say that, Darcy. I was thinking about maybe I can ask somebody to make some like special crayons for my technique. See, I wish they would make this crayons with all different colors, but there's only like 6 or 8 of them. This size. This is the size I like. See the size difference? I want this size. I'm also using gel pens so just I can give a little bit more of my lights, like the white. or you can use acrylics too. But if you want more details, you can use the gel pen. I thought about it. I thought about calling Crayola and said, "Can you make my jumbo crayons in all different colors? I want 128 of them." Yeah, I haven't tried the triangle crayons. I did use the twist crayons. I thought those were going to be cool. I didn't have to peel them, but they were a little bit different. They didn't melt as good. So here it is. And I mix, well, many things. I use crayons, I use acrylics, gel pen, charcoal. So pretty much what I did here, I did it with her. This is also one that I did in ATC's for All. It was one of the classes. It's a little shiny. There's some glare. Well, I like to seal my paints, and you can use anything. You can use Mod Podge. I use the glossy. You can use glossy accents. Also, you can use diamond glaze just to seal. I've also done the clear emboss on a card. I was trying not to use the heat gun, but I can give it a try. I haven't done it in a while, so let's see. Some lady in Australia, she said she did it and she made coasters out of this. So I'm going to use the heat gun. Yes, I'm embossing on the whole thing. I'm plugging in the heat guns. Sorry. Sorry, guys. Now it's shiny. And it's waterproof. I'm not sure this. Now, this one I got it. It's from Ranger. It's embossing clear. But YouTube will work just as good. And like I said, now it's waterproof. So I think this is much it. I don't know if you guys have more questions for me. I'm turning off the art. No questions?
Yeah, Martha, let's see some of your artwork.
I think I've been showing, I don't have a whole lot since I always trading. I made this one last month.
Beautiful.
Oh, I do have art. Whose is this? Who do you think this one belongs to? Does anybody recognize this baby? Yeah, Crayolas are the best. Crayola, it seems to work the best for me. What you mean, Darcy? What colors are good? I use them for vintage. Let me see, for vintage. For vintage, I will use the more, let me see. Yeah, some of the browns, tans, and even if you use the brown, you can always mix it with white. The apricot looks always works good for me. Yeah, the metallic, I usually mix metallics with a basic color, you know, kind of similar, just because they're a little more transparent. Let me see if I have any. I have a big, this is my bin of crayons. This is metallic and it looks almost brown, but when you spread it, it's really transparent. So a lot of times I mix it with a little brown. So I will mix those two with the metallic.
Kat, I would suggest that you get the Bristol board and just do a play with the colors and mixing and move it around just to see what colors you like.
Yeah, usually before you get started, it's good to always try your colors. See, like I have oranges. See, this is so transparent. There's more of a red, even though it looks kind of like orange. See, about this one, this is a non-brand crayon. But it doesn't have that much wax. The feeling is not as nice as the Crayola. So I bet if you try to melt it, oops, some of the blue is with it. It'll work. Let's see the difference. This is Crayola. This is non-brand. What are you, Jello, Dart?
She's jealous of your box of
Been collecting since, I think I came out with the technique. It was beginning of 2008. So I've been collecting a lot of crayons. Look dark. Another. This was from ATC's for All in one of the swaps, and I was just lucky to get one of Dart's. Yeah, and it's from 2008. I think I got more Dart's art than do mine. This was my birthday present.
She's awesome.
From Dart. Well, I can show you guys my bigger paintings. Those I kind of kept. Can't even put this baby in here. It's huge. I got the camera too. Sorry. It's this A1 that Dark got a copy of it. And I brought a little poem too. I don't know if you guys can read it. Let me bring another one. This was my first canvas. I was always too afraid to do a big canvas. And it had to be Frida. I don't know if you can see all the details. This is metal. Bro, stuff down there, I can't put it up. And I also did this one, but the crown fell off, so I need to fix that. But she's a lot of texture. Yeah, my studio's a lot of stuff in it. But thank you, everybody. I appreciate you coming along and visit me. So I hope you learned something, and I'm going to try to do this weekly. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I had fun. A lot of impromptu. It takes me a long time sometimes to come to get ideas and bring them up, bring them to life. So yeah, if you practice and let me know how you guys are doing. If you have problems, let me know in the next stream. I can help you out if you have problems and not coming out with a technique as you wish. Yeah, I'm gonna try to do it every Sunday around 2 o'clock. That way I'm not stepping on anybody's toes. And it works for me. Usually Sundays are pretty slow for me. No, it was a little scary today because I never done this before. Kind of shy person. No, Dar, I love seeing you. I don't want you to give up your spot. I love watching you do art. Thank you guys. So, love you all. See you next week.
Bye.
Bye.